Good morning, everyone. 7/24/2015, end of the week, and options expiration for financials. Big news overnight. China's manufacturing number is the lowest it's been in 15 months. It came back. That caused the Asian markets to sell. French manufacturing PMI and services, German manufacturing services, the EU's manufacturing and services numbers are all lower than the preceding month, came in lower than forecast. So the European economy continues to show signs of weakness. Our flash manufacturing number is supposed to be 0.1% higher than it was last month, but nobody pays a lot of attention to it. And we have new home sales on deck, and that number is forecasted. I've seen 543 to as high as 550. Econo is carrying 550. That number could come in higher than forecast. So I think direction of the E-mini is a factor. And it's up off its lows, but not by a bunch. Europe wasn't up by much either. Then new home sales. 550K. Maybe PMI number. Don't think so. And then options expiration. And the 10-year 126. 126.16, and the 30-year 153 for puts, 155 for calls. Now, option expiration day tends to take the market to a number that makes the market maker the most amount of money. So a close below 16 right here. Mathematically, the close would be 08, but a close less than 16 would make the market maker the most money he could make based on yesterday's activity. So I think what's really key today is what happens at 16. Can it come out or not? I think we have a chance to go down. I see pretty good support at 8 to 12, so a 9 to 11 buy would be would be our second place to get in. The first place, unfortunately, is going to be 13 to 17. So we got basically support 8 to 16. So buy 1's 13 to 17. It's where support is. Buy 2 is 9 to 11. Pretty close. I think the easiest trade to see is selling failure to take out 24 to 28. So 23.27 sell 1, then 31.03 sell 2. We have an auction next week, 2, 5, and 7 year. It's probably going to be a pretty strong auction given what's going on around the globe. I think if you had to make the argument, economic growth, economic contraction, the macroeconomic news that comes in still favors economic contraction, not economic growth. The Fed probably has boxed themselves into a corner where they do have to make an interest rate increase this fall. Most of the informed players are saying October, not September, if it's going to happen. The futures markets, the bond, the treasuries, the paper, the bill market is saying it's going to come in the first quarter of 2016. So we'll have to see what it actually is. We don't know. But the Fed has certainly been talking up raising interest rates every time they get a chance. So if and when that happens, it will not be surprise news. Okay, the option play was 155 and then 153. So a mathematical close at 54. That's where we are. So selling failure to take out 24, 28. Same trade basically. 23.27, sell 1, and then 31 to 03 for sell 2. We're leaning against 155, and the idea that it might come out, might not come out, that it'll hold as resistance, give or take. First band of support is right down here at 14.15, then at 9, then at 01. So basically, I think the 154 even, 154.08 area is probably the best support. And we're going to make 13 to 9 buy 1. That's where we are. Let them get stops below the overnight session. Then 1 to 29 for buy 2. The key is going to be the knob spread. This morning, about 5 in the morning, it was up 5/30 seconds, 6/30 seconds from yesterday. So the knob spread is still closed, and whichever way that goes is going to give us the best indication if the market's going to close higher or close lower for the day. Gold got hit again last night. Again, most of the press, and it doesn't mean that it's true, is attributing the selling in gold to China, their economic problems. So just look at how these single prints hold, and we're below that crash the other night when there was absolutely no liquidity. So 75 is a round number. It'll make people cover shorts. So 70 to 75 is where we are right now on the buy side. The play of 75 holds will be end of the week short covering. London's high was 84. We're currently at 77. We got volume at 82. So 82, 85, sell 1. This volume's an attractor. And then 88, 90, sell 2. But gold's definitely headed lower. Jim Rogers says he's a buyer at 1,000. Now when we get to 1,000, will he still be a buyer? And Jim Rogers is a legend in the commodities, money management, commodities field. And he's done very well. He and George Soros formed the Quantum Fund. Long-term investor. Knows the commodity side probably better than he does the equity side, because his calls for a top in the equity market have been as bad as everybody else has tried to call a top. Hard to do. Markets always go farther than you expect them to go based on the news, and the move always goes time-wise past where you think it can go. It's just the way markets work. You get everybody piled on one side of the market, and it's hard to change that mindset quickly. Okay, the euro, we liked the sell in the 110, 15 to 25 area. 110 even held last night, which shouldn't surprise anybody. It's a round number. And here we are trading lower. So we've got stops below yesterday's lows. So the first buy zone is going to be 25 to 15. And then 108.75 to 85 for buy 2. Don't know if we can get it down there today. 65.75, sell 1. 90 to the buck, sell 2. Starting to see articles written about why this Greek deal this time can work, and it sounds good for the Greeks. It's not good for the Greeks, but what in the hell do they expect spending money the way they did in their retirement programs and all the corruption they have in their economy? So maybe the good thing for Greece is that a lot of the excess gets wrung out. I mean, I don't know. But it's not going to be painless for those that live in Greece. And their day of reckoning has come. It will lead to political upheaval. It could lead to blood in the streets, depending on how hard times get. The Greeks aren't known to show restraint when it comes to civil matters. And the EU and Europe shies away from violence. I mean, even when they sent their guys to Afghanistan in a show, they were pretty much locked in outside of Poland and France, pretty much locked into staying on base if you were German. And France didn't do a lot there. France has done a lot in northern Africa. Okay, here's crude. Obviously 49. End of the week short covering is a possibility. We're at 65, so selling against 49. Selling against 49.50 OBS2. So this 49, 49.50 is an area that could be sold. And our 48.25, 48 is where support is. And then 47.50, 47.75. Our buy numbers are pretty much where they were last night. Sell numbers have come in. Okay, fundamentally the E-mini should be selling today. It's up a little bit overnight. Asia's off. China's manufacturing numbers were a disappointment. It is the end of the week. We have the potential for the plunge protection team. So if the selling doesn't start early, then it probably is not going to start. We're probably going to see end of the week short covering. So getting stops above the overnight session. First sell is 4 to 6. Second sell is 9 to 11. Kind of where we were yesterday. On the buy side, the idea that we can come down and test yesterday's support level, this 95 area, and then 90 to 92. My guess is we probably don't break the S&P today, and then we'll have one shot at it early in the session, and then if it doesn't break, we'll get short covering, profit taking into the weekend. So PMI pretty much unchanged. It doesn't usually play in our markets. 53.7. It's up 1/10 from last month. New home sales can come in greater than forecast. 550K. Now the automobile sector is showing contraction. Everybody screams about the internals but it's of the automobile industry, but it's still over 16 million, and anything over 16 million, these guys can make a lot of money. So if the housing sector, from all appearances, assuming the numbers aren't cooked all that much, has shown a comeback this year. So my guess is that once this news is out of the way, and once we have one sell in the morning, that end of the week short covering will kick in. So the news focus will be new home sales, and that comes at 10 Eastern. So I have support 90 to 95, and I've got resistance 2105, 2110. Be back with you as soon as possible.